Getting cells and blueprints is normally something that happens over the course of just doing runs, but if you wanted to be a little bit more efficient about grinding out some of this stuff, I do have some strategies. So let's go into custom mode. First thing I want to do is set up a basic build that is going to be able to kill enemies very fast, and that always means taking out a tactics run. I don't have a lot for ranged weapons right now, so seems like my best bet is going to be the electric whip, but there are much, much better weapons that you can eventually unlock for this sort of thing. And then I just have a couple turrets. You know, working autonomously and everything, that's generally the best choice. And then a shield just because, I don't know. I mean, I don't even need the shield, but did have that unlocked here. There, that should be good to begin. And although I want to do this on the highest cell difficulty possible, I know that that's also kind of a bad idea because I don't have any legendary forge upgrades. I don't have an idealized sort of build as of right now. Now, I'm going to want to keep this one simple and pump it down to 0 cell difficulty. By the way, yes, this is being recorded after I got the 4th boss cell, but by request, I'm doing this as a regular episode rather than the original stream that I did grinding out some of the basic upgrades. So, from here, all I want to do, rush in here, you know, get my basic build, and then go through here as fast as possible. And in fact, just this area. I mean, first off, I do want to still kill enemies and everything. Being on 0 cell difficulty should be relatively easy, not only to take enemies down, but do it without getting hit. Because the goal when it comes to trying to unlock things is that I am going to try and get both of the 2 cell doors that exist. The one for killing 30 enemies without getting hit, and the one for finishing the area in 2 minutes. Why? Because the cell doors do contain a cache of cells, and those completely disregard whatever sort of difficulty you're on, purely to give you 20 cells each. So, if you're just going through the first area, kill 30 enemies, get the 2-minute door, that is 40 cells every single time, and that should take just a couple minutes to do. Now, if you wanted to be very efficient with getting cells and everything, you'd probably want to put this up on like 4 or 5 boss cells, because that spawns a lot more of the elites around the area, and they give 10 cells each or so. However, it's just, if I don't have a good enough build to go through the 4 and 5 boss cell quickly, and especially being able to kill elites without taking damage, then it's really a lot more worthwhile to just do this on 0 boss cell. I mean, yeah. As much as it's like, even as I was doing that on stream previously, I was getting hit pretty consistently in kind of an embarrassing way, so really should just be doing this on 0 boss cell. And there's 30, got 20 seconds left, so that should be good. And yes, I got kind of 7 boss cells. I would normally get more if I was playing on a higher difficulty, but like I said, it would take longer, and I have that much more risk of actually getting hit. But from here, we're 3 minutes into the episode, and that should mean 20 cells, and 20 cells, nearly 50 for, 2 minutes of work here. Is it the best? I'm sure there are a lot more effective ways to grind out cells over time and everything, but this is one of the best that I use for, whatever I'm doing here. I mean, Boomerang is pretty nice. I don't know if I would necessarily say it's better than the Electric Whip as of right now. Maybe, though. Well, anyway, anything else I want to go get while I'm in here? So many different options, but let's take... I don't know. Actually, I really do not know what I want right now. I just put it all in the Hunter's Mirror for right now. There, that'll work. And then from that point, restart. Rinse and repeat and everything like that. However, that's just for getting basic upgrades, unlocking items, unlocking outfits, everything like that. If you want to go for the Forge, well, that's a bit different. That is definitely a different style of run that you want to do. Although, before I even do that, I'm going to keep it on 0 boss cell, because now is a good time to go and try and get... Well, I mean, maybe I should also redo the build and everything, but Now is a good time to try and go and get some of the other blueprints that I want for, really effective grinding here. First blueprint that I'm looking for. In the Ancient Sewers, you're going to find one area here that has, one area around a corner that has this secret place that you can get into. Roll into it, and that will set you right in a bunch of poison. Make sure you're not cursed while you're in here. But grab that Alchemic Carbine. Very, very nice ranged weapon. It does poison, doesn't have any sort of ammo issues, sort of slow, and it's not really something that I would say is great as a primary weapon. However, as a secondary sort of weapon or something to shove into the Acrobata pack, it's very good at not only enabling synergies, but also allowing you to, get that much more damage. After all, a cloud of poison that lingers around on the ground is very good when it comes to just trying to kill a bunch of enemies quickly, especially at a great distance. Okay, sure. If you're just going to give me this one, too. I mean, not only do I like Puyo Power just in general, but the eggs hatching into chicks is pretty useful. Getting those birds from when you initially unlock the item around here, too. Oh, yeah, that is... I mean, I guess they're sort of like biters, but at the same time, given that Puyo Power is already pretty powerful, that works for me. No, wait, no, I saw that blueprint. Corruptive Power. Now that is a good item. It used to be back in like the original. We're talking, just came out of, come on now. We're talking just came out of like the pre-alpha testing version of the game. That was incredibly powerful since it just gave you a very flat damage to all of your attacks. So something that could attack very fast suddenly became exponentially more powerful. It was extremely good. Needless to say, that one did not last. Oh, come on. Are you really going to make me choose between Puyo Power and a legendary Tesla turret? Well, I guess I'll see real quick. What does the legendary Tesla turret actually do? Really? Just going to completely ignore me here just to keep walking around. Well, whatever. Covers the ground. Whatever. That is not all that impressive compared to, eggs spawned from this item hatch into chicks. Get out of here. Here we are, the clock tower, which I don't necessarily have to be in to get this item. However, just for the sake of doing this on Zero Boss Cell mode, I do, because the enemy that I'm looking for only spawns in this area. You can really see the lack of health that you get with this build, eh? All right, here you are, the cannibal. So, cannibal, throw this at you. Get a little bit of... I don't even know if I want to use Puyo Power here because I believe it's probably going to kill the cannibal before I can even get the item I'm looking for. All right, when you are using the blueprint extractor, press the right button, but also I usually like to try and get them to teleport to a platform and then fall onto it, which I think is sort of the best way to do this. Let's try that one again. Well, thankfully, oh, and here's another tip too. You can grab items with the homunculus rune. But also, if you kill an elite before they give you the blueprint, you do get this back. Didn't used to be the case, but it is now, and I am glad that is the case. All right. Okay. Now you're going to be teleporting to me, like I said. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to do this here, and then I'm going to fall down, because it takes them too long to teleport to you next, and you can get the Hokuto's Bow. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know I love this item. It's one of my favorite in the entire game. Because what it does is it marks enemies, and that mark gives them gives you a damage buff against them. However, that damage buff is not just to regular hits. It also applies to damage over time. That's the item. That is the item that really makes stuff like the Electric Whip, the Alchemic Carbine, everything like that pop off. It has been, in patches made to be not as powerful, but I still think for a nice, extremely powerful, extremely fast run that, getting bonus damage on every one of your hits, it's like you can't go wrong. Well, anyway, it may just be my personal bias in terms of actually, making builds, but it is one of my favorite items in the entire game. Anyway, since I'm here too, let's actually go and get this blueprint as well. I was supposed to do that all the way back in the first episode. I kind of promised it, but didn't end up doing it. Although first, as I said back then too, I do kind of want to clear out more or less the entire level before I get working on that puzzle. Hey, Predator, which is a good mutation that I feel like I never get proper use out of. But hey, I got it now. Okay, now that I have everything cleared out, we can start working on the puzzle. I mean, okay, not everything is cleared out, but most things are cleared out. Enough is cleared out that I feel comfortable doing the puzzle. So you might have noticed that in the background of this area, there are a bunch of these giant bells. And these giant bells you can hit, and they make a sound. Now, what sort of sound do they make? Well, it is a tone that you want to go from lowest to highest. So you're going to have to go around to all 4 of the bells that exist in this area, ring them, and note which one is lowest, which one to highest, and then do those in order. In previous versions of the game, there was apparently a glitch that caused you to hit all of the bells at once. So sometimes people would just hit a bell and then the key just drops out. But here, they have since patched that, so got to do it properly. All right, let's take a listen. That's definitely the lowest one, I want to say. Seems like they added some sort of big animation to it, too, to make it a little bit more clear that it's something special. So I suppose that's good to know. Okay, that is definitely one of the higher bells, so keep that in mind. All right, so the first one over here is probably the lowest. This one might be the highest? I'm not quite sure. Oh, yes, and sometimes bells do appear in the cell doors, but those ones are not relevant to actually solving the puzzle. They're just, there for decoration. What do we got? I want to say that's probably like the third one. Okay, so I got one there in the middle, and then now here. Yeah, like up here, and then here. All right, should be one more, and I'm betting it's over on the left tower in some way. Ah, and here it is. I'm just going to get hit a bunch before I actually hit the bell, though. Okay, this is probably the second one. All right, I think it's going to be... All right, I think I know what the order is that I want to hit these in. So, let's do it right now. And instead of cutting around, I'll just show it all right here. Now, was it up here or down? I think it was down here, right? But this was definitely the first one. You're going lowest to highest. No, okay, it was up, actually, as it turns out. All right, so this is definitely the first one, if you're going from lowest to highest. Then I want to say it's that one on the left tower, one on the bottom, and then one in the middle. Yeah, should be what I need to do. And don't worry, it'll become extremely obvious once I get the blueprint. Oh, my God. Okay, so there's one. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if like the blue echoing rings that come off of that are supposed to be any sort of indication as to like how the tone of the bell as you're hitting it, but who knows. Guess 2. I mean, it's either this one or the one in the bottom tower that is going to be the second one that I want to hit. I suppose it'll become extremely apparent as I do this because, I mean, I'm going to be doing it right now, after all. All right, third one should be right here. Yeah, and then the last one right up in the middle of the tower, and that should be the key. I hope. I'm really hoping that it is, because like it is. This is one of the more involved puzzles in the game. Nothing really compares. There you go, and I got it here. The bell tower key. Wow, and I am like very close to dying at this rate. But there you go, bell tower key. And that should unlock right over in the other tower there. The blueprint that I so seek. Now let me go turn down the volume on my speaker so that it doesn't get picked up by the microphone. I don't think it is, but I'm always afraid that's going to happen. Well, anyway. Open that up and get yourself a punishment. A retaliatory shield. Whenever you get a parry, it does damage all around you rather than just only to the enemy that you're parrying. I think it's been more powerful in the past. It's not quite the best shield. I think that more often than not, having a lot of damage done to a single enemy is something I'm more concerned with. So stuff like the spike shield, as I've been using before, is kind of the preference. Still, though, I'm trying to get all the blueprints, so might as well. Well, I guess you can also just hold up the shield too, but at the same time, it's like that can be good for, you know, just sitting in if you really are unsure about what to do when you're surrounded by a lot of enemies, sitting in a corner and holding up the punishment is an effective strategy. I've used it before, but not quite. Usually not like the optimal sort of thing. All right, you know what? Hey, Boomerang is decent damage, but it also has 80% on a poison target. Let's take that instead. Because, yeah, Lingering Poison, it has kind of a long shot, you know, each with its own ridiculous-looking animations, especially as you're using the Snowman skin. I should really get some more skins at this point in time, but it's fine. Give me poison, poison, poison. It's not bad. Poison? Poison? Oh, that's not bad, but poison. Dang. I tried. I gave it a good try there. All right, I might as well go fight the next boss before I jump back and then start getting my my ultimate farming build working for me. Is there anything else that I would want to be in a farming build? I mean, I guess like Double Crossbow-matic and Tesla Turret are both pretty good, especially knowing that the Hokuto's Bow will also additionally end up dealing... Yep, okay. Will also end up dealing a lot of extra damage, you know, with the damage over time and everything. All right. And perfect fight. That's how you do it. Bird build, bird build, bird build, bird build. Never doubt the power of the bird build. Now, this is Zero Boss Cell mode, I know, right? But still, though. Come on. Some good stuff. Seriously, Puyo Power is a very high-tier weapon. It's not one that I would take into every single fight, because it is one that you can't roll when you're a chicken. Chickens can't roll, regardless of what... Legendary Boomerang is also super good. That extra... You know what? Okay, let's do... Just because I can. Here's another high-tier sort of gameplay pro tip, whatever you want to say. So if you have your primary and secondary weapon... Oh, yeah, right. They try and prevent you from doing that now. Whatever, I can just roll my finger over the same thing. Throwing multiple of these out at once is absurdly overpowered. It's one of the things that made Boomerang just an extremely high tier sort of item back in the day. However, and having a legendary one means you can have two in your hand at the same time. And it used to be you could just bind the both of the buttons to the same button, but I guess they don't want you doing that anymore. It just means roll your finger over both of the attacking buttons, or I don't know, put them both on like the left and right trigger buttons, because that will, you know, those are pretty easy to press while also having the full access to everything else you got. Okay, Acrobat Pack, support, and Tranquility, I guess? I don't know. I think that should probably be a pretty effective sort of extra mutation to take. Potentially. Depends on how well the Boomerang does. With all of these, let's just see how this goes. So, I mean, it's a good thing that I've got enough cells now to unlock every one of these things. All right, the Hokuto's Bow in the backpack, and everything else, just do this sort of thing. Oh, come on! That was a great combo. You don't even... Oh, come on. And of course I get hit by this, of all things. But yes, let's just do that, and then... I'm gonna go right for it. Could have easily been a perfect fight. Just screwed it up on those things, of all things. And one more chicken going to finish it up. So yeah, that's how it can go when you have a really good build to begin with. Kind of ridiculous in some ways. Still, though, I'm very disappointed that I wasn't able to do a perfect fight. However, with this sort of combination, this should be all I need to go and get what I'm thinking the next, level of grinding going. Specifically, what I'm talking about is going for the Forge. So the difference between going for the Forge and going for just regular unlocks is that you have to get to a boss, and there's really no way around that. And the reason why you want to do that on a 42 cells, whatever, I can get, that's fine. I don't need all of those with me as much as I would like them. Well, and you're going to need something a little bit more powerful because you got to go through more areas. So like I said, I do like you, put one of these things in the backpack, keep one of these things as kind of your primary attacking weapon, and then same basic thing for deployable traps. So we'll do that. And then unlike previously, I really do want to pump it up to the highest difficulty that I possibly can, because that will allow more enemies to drop stuff, that will allow more elites to spawn, and maybe most importantly, it will allow me to get more cells out of like the cell caches. Now that doesn't count for the ones for like a trying to get the stuff from the in-between areas, the 20 that you get for, give me one that actually attacks. The ones that you get for actually, the 30 kills without getting hit and 2 minutes sort of thing. However, it will affect everything else. And I don't even know if I can necessarily say that this is going to be a particularly good run for killing things, given that I haven't uploaded the Forge at all as of just yet. But maybe it'll do good enough. That's what I'm hoping. Say hello to the failed experiments. Unique to 4 boss cells and up. Don't see them anywhere else. They are they're the concierge. They are the concierge. They do all the things that the concierge does, except for the sweep. They don't do the sweep. They also have an auto dodge attack, which is pretty annoying. Like every, 10 seconds or something, I believe they can just kind of automatically dodge your hits. It's a lot of fun. I'm doing like a sort of a slasher style of like very fast walk style of teleport. Which is, that's what you call that, right? All right. But you can already see this is what I'm talking about with the, not so much for the 30 kills, but that's fine. You can already see this is what I'm talking about with having the Alchemic Carbine just work really well to kill enemies literally as I'm running away from them. And if I had even a couple upgrades, it would be that much easier to end up doing as well. All right. Money here, good too, but with the increased amount of elites, I already have nearly 40 cells, which is why it's worthwhile to do it on the highest difficulty possible. It's just, I want to make sure that I'm not going to be taking a ton of damage from everything. Even if all I'm going to be doing is, yes, much like regular cell grinding, going to the first boss. And the first boss is going to be the Conjunctivius. Why? Because the Conjunctivius also does have a time door, which is pretty easy to accomplish. And if you're going a specific route, which is to say through the promenade, it also gives you a cell door. The 2-cell door in the promenade is great for grinding because that gives you a little cache of extra cells, which is not something that you can get super often, even over the course of the game, really. Excellent. There's the full build right there. It's not something you can't really see a whole lot of caches, all over the place in the game. You'll see them, but they're just not everywhere in the way you want them to be. I'd like to get that, but I also kind of want to keep the... Is there any other... Well, actually, no, what am I even thinking? I'm going for the Forge. Break down this door so that you have the maximum amount of cells to put into the Forge then. That's probably the more important thing. And I'm taking the YOLO mutation right now because I don't really have much better. In fact, I'm thinking about it. should have probably got a blueprint from the very beginning of the game now that I can actually get it. That's one that works extremely well for a build of this sort. Now, I'm trying to go through fast, so I'm not really going to be focusing. One of the great things about this area is that, you know, it's laid out the same. It always has the upper area and the various lower areas, although I do want to get to, of course, the 2-cell door if I can find it. Oh, and it's right here. It's like I'm going to mostly be staying on the top. And 15 cells isn't too much, but it is almost free because you can... Hey, oh, yeah, there we go. Frantic Sword. Good. You can make some good builds with that. You can make some good builds with that. But, do that later. All right. Oh, yeah, I should have taken Acrobata Pack as the... Well, whatever. It's not that important for this point. It will be important for, like, the boss to really maximize your DPS and everything. But as it is, I can just stick to the very tippy top and then not worry too much about actually fighting stuff, except for the occasional... Oh, what did it actually do for this? Makes victims bleed? Oh, that's okay, I guess. Not really quite what I'm looking for as far as a legendary item goes. Maybe it would actually be worth unlocking that blueprint. The explosive crossbow is one that I like quite a bit. It works in the same way as the explosive crossbow users that you see around the game otherwise. Well, it's slightly more powerful. Once I actually get the forge upgraded a little bit, it's going to start popping off quite a bit. Trust me. It's like even right now, I might even want to say, you know, because I don't have the forge upgraded, I might want to go for a few more of the stats that exist in this area, but it should be fine. With the electric whip and everything, it's also totally okay to, you know, beat all of the since flying enemies only have like 1 hit point and that scales on higher cell difficulties to have like 4 hit points, you can zap them pretty quick. That's a few extra cells and everything, so you maybe could also get the 60 kills here if you so chose, but I think that's a bit risky for me. Observe right now as I take risk and it did not pay off. Well, anyway. Okay. Any other quick... I mean, there's like scroll fragments and stuff around here, but I should be fine. Ramparts, same basic sort of thing. You can just run directly through the upper area, and there is a chance that at the end of it, you'll just find the... I mean, first off, there is this here, too. Yeah, at the end of it, you'll just find the... You'll find the exit to the next area. But, I mean, you know, you can also just kind of get a... No, again, I'm going for the forge. I got 114 cells right now. It's going well. It's going well. Give me that Acrobata Pack. There we go. Now enemies are going to be... Now I roll, since damage does not really matter, you know, having only 31% of damage for... What is the Hokuto's bow even actually do? 204 damage, but it also makes them take 421. So that is... And I dropped it, I think? So that is one of those items that is very much ideal for a backpack sort of thing. Things that enable synergies, whether that's just extra damage or whether that's getting your poison or bleed targets, stuff like that are very good candidates to be put in the backpack for the Acrobata Pack mutation. All right, back to Nightmare. Now your nightmare comes to life. Not that it's really that bad if you're only going for the first boss. Now, using a potion charge in the first couple areas, given how few you actually get in this part of the game, a little bit more of a questionable thing. Yeah, you can already see how that was really wearing away the enemy's health once I hit them with the Hokuto's bow. That's what makes it pretty good. That's why I like it. Even low damage sort of runs suddenly become a lot better when you have the damage over time getting buffed up by the mark. It's very, very good. Now let's see if I get lucky, get to the end of the area, and then just manage to shoot myself directly into the boss fight immediately. That would be good. I mean, it's like you're gonna want to do a boss. The other reason why I'm going for the concierge is that you're gonna want to do a boss that, you know, you can be relatively confident that you can do without taking much damage. Because with only one stat that isn't in tactics right now, I can take a lot of damage from any attack, period. But that's why using a build like this, it's like the damage is so high that I'll be able to kill most anything before it can attack me. Not true for bosses, but true for everything else. And there we are. Go kill that elite. Yeah, sure. Get all of the various damage over time here. And that should be good. Gives me more cells to play around with. Potential at getting a better necklace. Everything like that. It's a lot of good stuff. You know, having the electric whip also is just a nice fast attacking weapon, so you can get that mark off after rolling really quick. Oh, is this? It is. This is, I mean, this is, of course. Oh, they have Nerves of Steel over here now. No, they always had Nerves of Steel. There was another one, though. The stun grenade that you could occasionally find. Yeah, it's not every single time that you are able to see this sort of... Just curious. No. There's also stun grenade blueprint that I'm looking for. But yeah, it's not every time that the level generates that that particular invisible platform and everything. But if you do, you can get a blueprint out of that. Nerves of Steel in the past was one of my favorite weapons, but the reduced amount of ammo that it has now makes it not quite as good. Still, though, I feel like I should give it a little bit more of a shot as of late. It is a weapon that you have to hold down a specific amount of time and to get a critical, you know, more one of those skill-based weapons again. But it does do pretty good damage. All right, well, not this one. Maybe over here. There's a lot of opportunities for places to go, things to see, people to fight. But kind of trying to minimize that so I don't die because of that sort of thing again. Like I said, hey, we got the mage outfit, which is a fun one, sure, but not quite what I'm looking for. All right, curious. 66 versus 129 sounds fantastic. Give it to me. Poison synergy? No poison synergy. Well, you can't always expect that to be a thing. All right, well, it's not going to be the one in the Ram Rune. You have to be able to get that with... You have to be able to get to the next area without having the Ram Rune. That's just how the area is generated. So, should be this one, or I think I only got one more potential thing. Now, there is a food shop in... What is it, the one cell door in this area? Could be worth going for if I was trying to do an entire run, but I'm not. And it's a little bit more cumbersome after all to end up, here we are, to end up doing the forge grinding, but you can get a lot of cells going pretty quickly here. I still think it's faster if you just go through the first area over and over, but can't get to the forge like that, can ya? All right, well, no, again, I'm doing the forge. I keep forgetting about this. Every single time, I tell you. Well, you know, support is a pretty decent way to just get a little bit of extra damage. If you're already using a turret, it's good. Needless to say, you want to go for a perfect fight here. That will get you the maximum amount of cells, but it's not that big of a deal. All right, we get the knight outfit, too. Get me in here. Concierge. Still one of the easier fights that you can do. That said, without any upgrades and everything, doesn't mean that it's like totally free and easy. Still, though, I'd rather be doing this than like the concierge, of course. All right, I can't even get close enough to hit him with stuff here. The electric whip is just slightly out of range. Make sure I don't get punched. Not only will that ruin my whole, you know, perfect fight chance and everything, it will also probably kill me. Or at least get pretty close to killing me. What with, you know, virtually... Oh, hey, there was that one rare thing where he just jumps directly over me. Don't see that an awful lot. But yes, you can see. Fairly good build. Now, is this going to work for everything? No, because if you get hit by any one of the other bosses, that's not good. Oh, I rolled it into it rather than away from it. That happens. Yep. Remember, you can roll cancel out of pretty much anything. And you should. It's a good strategy, trust me. Alright. Okay, almost there. Couple more hits, and that should be it. Turret's doing a good job, of course, but they always do a good job. Dead Cells was originally supposed to be a tower defense game. The turret's still being in here. It's like, sort of a holdover from that, but trust me, they make for very good builds, and I do appreciate that. Alright, there's a perfect fight there. Impaler. Nice weapon. A little bit situational. A little bit really situational. I really don't need anything else here. I'm just going to go. Like, why am I trying to get stats and whatever? We're resetting after this point. Or more specifically, I guess I'm going to end the episode. Kind of already finished everything that I need to do here. But yeah, within 15 minutes, done easy. All right, 183. We get 200 here. Shots pierce all enemies. Pretty good for getting that mark on stuff. Also it's just like more powerful and everything too. That said, I'm not going to be using it. I just wanted to see what the affix was. And then, hey, halfway through the plus. Well, almost halfway through the plus. Immediately. So that's a good start. Obviously, like I said, a lot more cumbersome than anything else. But, getting more cells into that means that you're just going to have an easier and easier time doing this in the first place. So I think that it should be something where you reach critical mass. You're starting to just become more powerful, and then you have an easier time getting more cells into that, and then you become more powerful, so on and so forth.